Welcome to an all-new episode of St. Louis Presents.
Good to see you.
You too. Well, here it is October, and of course, what all the kids are looking forward to, I don't know, a lot of adults too, it's become quite the adult holiday, is Halloween.
I'm on board with that. It's one of my favorites.
Really?
It sure is.
Are you dressing up? Do you dress up?
I haven't decided. I actually haven't dressed up in a couple of years, but I'm thinking this year might be it.
Really?
So we'll see. I've got a little time to figure it out.
It requires a lot of planning and forethought and handicraft. All three of things I do not possess.
No,
so
I'm really good at buying a costume.
Yes, buying and candy.
And well, the candy thing. Yeah, we're going to talk to someone from the Delta Dental Health Theater, which is down at Laclede's Landing. I've never been, so I'm really curious to hear about it. But it's all about educating kids on proper, care of their teeth. And I want to know how bad candy really is for your teeth. They're doing this candy exchange where they're going to have a thing for kids, and if they bring their candy and exchange it, they're going to get prizes and do all sorts of fun stuff. But I want to know, is candy really the culprit? I don't know.
I don't think sugar in general is good for your teeth. But,
no. And most of that Halloween candy I would never eat anyway. Chocolate and or the little sour things. Those would be the two candies I would eat.
Well, most
Sweet
adults
tarts.
I know, my husband always buys about 10 pounds of candy in the beginning of the month, and then he eats it all by the end of the month.
So you have
and
to
then
go
we
back to the store
more.
on October 29th.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're also going to shatter some myths, possibly, about breast cancer and diagnosis. So people will want to stick around for that. All that and more is coming up on the next St. Louis Presents. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Now, beyond simply being aware of breast cancer, it's also a good time to focus on prevention and early detection. And with more information on how to do just that and more is Dr. Christine Salter. Thanks so much for being with us today.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay, now you're going to tell us something that a lot of women are going to, because earlier talking to you, I was like, wow, you're blowing my mind. We're all told to get mammograms, mammography screenings. We have vans that go around, and we feel like if we get that mammogram and it shows nothing to worry about, that we're good. What's wrong with that?
The problem is, individually, if you've got dense breasts, the mammography is not as sensitive. And often the report will say that. It'll say, maybe 30%, 20% decreased sensitivity if the breasts are dense. That means they could have missed a lesion. But even more than that, two large studies have been published in the British Medical Journal, New England Journal of Medicine, 50,000 women, and what they found that with screening mammography, that it actually doesn't save lives, and that women are dying at the same rate, whether those women between 40 and 59, that's the common age for the screening, they're dying at the same rate as women who don't have screening mammography. So basically, there's more to it to prevent breast cancer.
Now, when you say screening mammography, is there another kind of mammography?
Oh, yes. So there's diagnostic mammography. So that means, we're now looking for something. So maybe there was a lump, breast feels a little different, and so now we're doing more. We do ultrasound, and diagnostic is much more detailed than the two-shot from screening.
Now, you have something, it's interesting because I don't hear this particular aspect talked about a lot. We talk about, how to get the mammogram once a year, but we rarely hear anybody talking about possible ways to prevent breast cancer or things that we could do in our lives that can lower our chances. And you have kind of a little program you call Stop It. What does that stand for?
So Stop It means, well, we want to stop the breast cancer before it even starts. And the studies show that 40% of breast cancer can be prevented by lifestyle. So that's where the Stop It came along. So Stop It, S is for sleep deprivation, not getting enough sleep. The T is for toxins, and that's toxic emotions, toxins in our personal care products, dry cleaning products. The O is oxidative stress. A lot of these things cause oxidative stress, then can trigger abnormal cells. The P is for physical inactivity. what we know is that exercise both treats and prevents breast cancer. So a woman with a breast cancer, if she exercises regularly, she's actually treating the breast cancer like she was taking a medicine.
Wow.
Okay, and the I is inflammation. A lot of these things, the sleep deprivation, the toxins, they cause inflammation in the body. And we know that chronic inflammation drives disease. In the acute setting, we want that because it's a good thing, but in the chronic setting, we don't. Okay, and the T is targeted, a targeted workup. So we look at all those biomarkers, we look for all those things, and then make those changes individually for the women.
One of the things you mentioned, backing up a few letters,
Yes.
was toxins
Right.
and chemicals. Now, a few years ago, I talked to a woman from the Safe Cosmetics organization who was talking about how women use 10 to 15 products a day: hairspray, makeup, deodorants, creams,
right.
lotions, and all of those, not all, but many of those things contain carcinogens, which the
Absolutely.
manufacturers do not deny, but they just say,
They just don't say.
trace amounts,
Right.
just trace amounts, but trace amounts of stuff you're using every single day. So how much of a role does that play in your opinion?
It's huge. You know, I tell my patient what goes on goes in. You know, transdermal hormones, we put on transdermal, it gets into the system, doesn't it? That's how it works. If women having hot flashes, whatever we put on is going in. Face, it doesn't matter where it is. So we have to be very cautious about what we use. We've got to make really good choices of what we're putting on because it's going to come into us. And it depends on how much. When we've got a great liver that will detoxify, but you start doing day in, day out, several times a day, it's going to overwhelm the system. We're going to get oxidative stress. We're going to get chronic inflammation. We're going to get direct activation of the cells.
So certainly a lot of things that people should think about, women should think about on a daily basis of what they're applying, but also, you know, what are you drinking your daily cup of coffee out of?
Right. Styrofoam cups. The styrene is carcinogen. Grilled chicken, grilled meat, carcinogens. You know, go to the dry cleaner and we're putting on our clothes, carcinogens. So we have to be mindful about everything that we're doing. We don't want to stress ourselves out because so much stress, then that's also inflammatory. So we want to be mindful and just make good choices. There are a lot of things out there that we can do things safely. You know, the Environmental Working Group, ewg.org, they're a huge resource for cosmetics, for things we eat. I mean, you know, the organic foods, you know, the Dirty Dozen, the Clean 15, they'll tell you which foods and which fruit and vegetables to buy organically and which ones you can buy non-organically. So then we can just be mindful about that.
And it really does seem, with so many of the illnesses that we have, modern day illnesses, simple things like getting more sleep and eating healthy and exercise is almost, you know, really, is it that simple? No, it can't be that simple.
Right, and really it is that simple. Just not getting enough sleep increases the risk for breast cancer. It increases the risk for diabetes, depression, hormone imbalance. You know, once the hormones balance, one of the best things you can do is get enough sleep.
Now, we talked about the mammogram, but what would you recommend people do? I know you do, is it thermal imaging that you do
I
at your
actually do
practice?
thermal imaging, and that's a functional approach. So just like, we don't want to just take one thing and say, okay, my thermal is normal, everything's great. My mammogram is normal, everything's great. We have to look at it in a comprehensive way, look at everything.
Now, I know that you have a lot of information on your website, too, so for people who've been listening to this and are like, wait, what is she talking about? So we would definitely encourage people to contact you and look at your website, which is drsalter.com.
drsalter.com. I've got a whole section on breast health, and they can join our email list. We'd be very excited to send things out for them.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. This has been great.
Yes, Steve Potter has some news for us. Take it away, Steve.
Thanks, Debbie. You know, that's really important information. I've heard it said that cancer really at some point in your life affects everyone, either directly or indirectly. So, you know, keep that in mind. Well, to the news. The state of Missouri must now recognize the marriages of same-sex couples legally performed in other states, just as the state recognizes other out-of-state marriages. The ruling came from Kansas City Judge J. Dale Youngs in a lawsuit filed by 10 same-sex couples who had legally married in other states and then moved to Missouri. Uber, the San Francisco-based app company that connects riders with drivers through their apps, may soon be headed to St. Louis. The Metropolitan Taxicab Commission voted unanimously to approve the company for a license to operate its Uber Black service in the St. Louis market. The premium service offers expert pickup in high-end sedans. The official launch date of Uber Black has not yet been announced. The St. Louis Agency on Training and Employment is co-sponsoring the 2014 Annual Financial Planning Day. A financial education workshop will take place at St. Louis Community College at Forest Park on October the 25th from 9 until 1. The workshop is designed to help St. Louis residents receive sound financial advice regardless of age, job status, or income. Space is limited for this free event. Individuals who'd like to attend the workshop can register online at financialplanningdays.org/St. Louis or by calling 877-861-7826. And Halloween is right around the corner, and if you're already frightened by the thought of all that candy, you may want to mark your calendar for Delta Dental's Great Candy Exchange. And here to tell us more about this fun event is Program Coordinator Alice Davis. Hi, Alice.
Hi.
Boo! I thought he'd catch up on you. Is Halloween, is that a nightmare for dentists?
Well, it could be, but it could be a moneymaker too. So, no, but we're so excited to invite all of our families to bring their children to the Great Candy Exchange.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that in a second, but before we go any further, a lot of people know Delta Dental because they provide insurance for people.
Correct.
Now, you're affiliated with Delta Dental Health Theater down on Laclede's Landing, and you do not provide dental care, so explain the relationship there.
Okay, so Delta Dental of Missouri is our main naming sponsor. So thanks to them, we're able to provide shows for the children. We educate them about their teeth, nutrition, and exercise. But we do it in a fun way.
Because
we do it in a fun way. We sing, we dance. We also have an animatronic toucan called You-Can, the toucan. He talks and sings. He doesn't fly. No flying.
And take care of your teeth. You can.
And that's right.
I get it.
And that's the slogan.
Oh,
you
really?
can do it. It really is. Thanks. Steve's been there. He knows.
Well, so you're going to have this candy exchange on the first Sunday in November. That's November the 2nd.
Yes.
So you're asking kids to bring unopened candy, and they turn it in, and what happens?
Right. Well, they turn it in to win prizes. So for every pound of candy that they bring to us, they receive a raffle ticket to win other prizes. The big prize this year is an Xbox 360 Connect.
I don't know what that is, but I know they want it.
Absolutely. Every child wants it, and some adults. Yes.
So there are also a lot of activities. You're doing a
Absolutely.
costume contest. There's going to be some entertainment.
Right. We have a costume contest, and that's going to be at 5 o'clock. Then we have the drawing for the Xbox at 5:30. We also have balloon artists, face painters. We have music. We're going to have some juggling. And, oh, I'm sorry, did I mention the bounce houses? Bounce houses the whole time. Yeah.
That sounds like a good thing.
It's a lot of fun.
So you do this every year, I guess, right?
Every year. This is our 5th time that we've done this. And all the candy, so the children know, the candy is collected, but we're donating it to our troops. So that's awesome because we were told that they don't get candy. And we do send toothbrushes and toothpaste.
Good. And also, I think if you're asking people to bring other things like socks
Correct.
and underwear, and they can...
That's right. And if they do those things, they'll get an extra raffle ticket, and those items get donated to the Little Bit Foundation, and they provide those things to children that need it in the St. Louis City area.
So it's all about educating kids on proper dental care. You know, I always wondered if dental care is, if that's a gene. I love to blame parents for things. So did you get it from your parents, or is it poor dental hygiene, or is it a combination?
It's a combination of all of that.
Well, we want to thank you very much and remind people that the Candy Exchange is coming up Sunday, November the 2nd. And you can call 241-7391 for more information and follow up on that. And Debbie, I have my own dental horror stories. Do you know I only had one filling in my entire life, and I'm old. It was when I was 10 years old I had a filling until 2 weeks ago. No dental problems 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago I had a tooth pulled. 1 week ago I had a filling, and I have a root canal scheduled.
Oh. Well, I
So I'm
went
gonna be at the
42
Candy
years
Exchange,
without a
yeah.
cavity, but anyway, kids, drop your Reese's peanut butter cups off at my house. No, don't do that. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed this edition of St. Louis Presents on STL TV.
We appreciate our great guests and you at home.
And don't forget that you can always check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube.
See you next time.